So Mike's asked, guess the game that sends us down.
Ooh.
He wants to score and what happens in the match. Now, his, as he said, vanilla version of events was Newcastle at home at the end of April, 4-0 defeat.
There they are.
Gordon gets the third, which causes pitch invasions, fights in the crowd, and maybe a few fires. I could see that happening. Pete?
Do you want to come to me last? Because actually, no, go on. I'm gonna go against the grain here, and I'm not gonna be defeatist. I'm gonna be deluded, and I'm gonna say we're gonna stay up. And the game that decides it is against Bournemouth on the 28th of May, and we're gonna beat Bournemouth 2-1 with a last minute Jordan Pickford winner from a corner. Corner's going to come in and Pickford's going to slam it in on the back post, and we're going to stay up. The last kick of the game on the last game of the season.
Right, so I've got the fixture list here. So sadly, almost about 5 to 10 minutes for every few times a day that I look at this list and start thinking we can get points here, we can get points there. But I mean, we got obviously for a Sunday away. I mean, we've got Brentford at home. I mean, if I'd stay with, we can possibly stay up if we get 3 points in these next two. But then when I look at the 3 games after that, I think we could well be down after it. Is Chelsea away, Spurs at home, United away. Newcastle might be the shout, but I'm gonna say I think we'll go on Brighton away, which is the game before Man City at home. I think we'll go on Brighton away, which is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games time. Brighton away. That's when I think we're going to go. And I think, I mean, they're flying, aren't they, at Brighton? I just think they'll comfortably beat us 2 or 3-0, and I think we'll all end up crying on the end of that ridiculous trip down there, which takes forever to get to. It takes forever to get home. And I think, sadly, that's the way it'll end for us.
It's going to be a lot nicer in May than December, though, isn't it? To be honest.
Oh, you mean as in the weather?
When we went, yeah, Christ, it was grim. I like Pete's answer better because it was less. It was
Thanks, Les.
Quite positive, wasn't it? And imagine Pickford keeping us up like Jimmy Glass style for Carlisle.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Can we all wear leather if that happens?
Yeah. Oh, too right, Dave.
Oh, you could go full on leather, Daddy, for that to happen. Whatever.
We turn up like the village people, please.
Get the rave on.
Yeah, it'll be like Vito in The Sopranos when he goes to the gay club.
I will all turn up. If you seen Dodgeball.
Yes, yeah. Dodgeball.
They end up wearing the wrong kit at the orders. I reckon we'll all end up. If we stay up and Pickford does anything that's helped us stay up, we'll all turn up wearing that.
Yeah, that'll do for me. It's
what are you saying, Les?
I'm just looking at the running now. It's friggin' horrible. You can take your pick.
It is horrible.
I think, like Mike said, I think for the just utter carnage, Newcastle at home. That's a Thursday night as well, isn't it?
Ooh.
The thing that I've been looking at quite extensively is the points as well. What point total keep us up? Because what did we stay up with last season? Was it 37, 38, something like that?
Mm.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, you look at how we're on now, 21. We've got to go and win 5 games there to get to that total. But I don't think it'll be enough because there's too many teams around us this time that I think are involved, not just simply Leeds and Burnley and all that like there was last season. If you look up the table, which a lot of people are seeing this as a positive, that there's up to Leicester. We're still only 3 points away from Leicester and Wolves, aren't we? We're up there. So, I mean, I think you've got to get. We'd have to get to at least 36, I reckon, to stay up, which is 15 points away.
Yeah,
so you reckon there's 5 wins from that list you've got there, Les? I'm not seeing that.
I can't see it because I just don't see where we score.
Away from home, we're not getting anything away. Absolutely nothing away from home. Chelsea, so United, games, Palace, Leicester, Brighton, Wolves. There's no away point there for us.
And the home games we've got are Brentford, Spurs, Fulham, Newcastle, City, Bournemouth.
I'd actually be astounded if that Bournemouth game's still alive for us to stay up. I'd be really surprised.
Yeah. What would you do if we go? I think I'd just sooner go early.
Oh yeah, I
Just-
mean I will, because then there'd be absolute murder and carnage, and I'm happy to see that then.
Yeah, I couldn't cope with going down against Bournemouth.
I think
No,
that,
mate, can-
yeah, I think if we're gonna go, do you know what though? As I say, I've just got this thing. As I say, maybe it's just blind faith, blind loyalty, whatever it is. I'm not giving up hope just yet. And do you know what's why I'm not giving up hope is because when Dyche came in, at that stage, I was still confident that we could somehow stay up. Now, in terms of the points total that we're on at this stage, the Arsenal game kind of evens up for the Villa game, which I think, but it's full, Leeds and Villa were the
Yeah.
two games we probably looked at and thought, yeah, we'll get 3 points there. Now, obviously, we didn't beat Villa, but we did beat Arsenal. So I'm still looking at it, thinking, well, we've been beaten by, by Liverpool from 2 breakaway goals. Arsenal, like they battered us the other night, let's be honest. But for the first 40 minutes, we looked pretty solid until stupid errors, 2 stupid errors in quick succession, and we switched off, and then that was, it was game over.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Villa game as well. I mean, if we had someone to put the ball in the net in the Villa game, with 2 or 3 up before they even get the penalty, and again it's a penalty, and then after that we're chasing the game, we leave ourselves exposed at the back. I'm still looking at it thinking, I think if anyone's going to get us out of this mess, I still think that Dyche could somehow start shithousing some results together. And I'm not talking about playing the most attractive football. I just mean literally shithousing 1-0s. I think whiskey's barking now, and I think your dogs, Dave, are now responding to whiskey
exactly,
barking.
mate. Because they're having none of what you've just said. That's why. But I reckon if this happens at home, there's definitely going to be a headlock somewhere.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
And you see this here. I mean, we've only got 6 games left at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which are, like you've just said there, Brentford, Spurs, Fulham, Newcastle, City, Bournemouth. And like I've said there, I reckon we need 5 wins, minimum of 5 wins, or 15 points to stay up. I don't see us winning 5 of those home games. And like I said, I don't see us getting a point away from home. Certainly not any of those games that we've got. Do you look at Chelsea, United, Palace, Leicester, Brighton, and Wolves, thinking we can get a point away?
Chelsea is shit, but we won't beat them.
Not away from home, mate. Absolutely no chance.
No, they'll
Unless Potter's gone before it.
That'll be the game.
Maybe he's still there, actually.
Potter will save himself there.
You reckon?
Nailed on. On a similar theme, since we're talking relegation, Jake Marley's asked first classic horrible championship level signing when we go down. Well, we've already signed him, haven't we? Neil Mopay.
Yeah. Do you know what though? That cheeky bastard will probably put in a transfer request to stay in the Premier League.
As well. You will.
Ends up at Brighton. It ends up at Burnley. Sorry.
I reckon he'd light up the Championship. He'd be like that. What's that lad? Is it Pookie? He plays for Norwich, and he comes up and down, and he keeps coming up and down. And he just smashes. To be fair to him, he bags goals in the Premier League as well, but then he goes down and scores like 30 in the Championship.
Well, Mitrovic was like that for years, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then this season, he's finally gone off in the Premier League.
By the way, he's another player, right? He's been around that long. I thought he was 40, and he's only sort of coming to like mid to late 20s now, isn't he? I thought he was well older. Yeah.
Well in his 30s.
Yeah. Well, let me just double check this. I am gonna confirm this, right? Mitrovic.
I mean, for me, we're signing Chris Wood.
28 years.
Yeah, that is mad. That he seems to have been an because he was at Newcastle as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. And he was like Mitrovic. Yeah, he's just been. Well, Chris Wood, hasn't he? He's signed for Forest on a permanent.
He's signed for Forest, but I reckon we'll get him anyway.
Yeah, he would have been there. I mean, again, that's another player that you look at and think, well, if he was available, why didn't we? I'm not saying he's the answer long term for us, but when you need a centre forward, why wouldn't we have gone in for him on loan? But wasn't it a weird thing when he went on loan and then they signed him like on a permanent
I think
a few weeks later?
Like a 3-game release clause, I think it was. If he played 3 matches, they had to sign him.
Who does Forest recruitment, by the way? What sort of deal is that? That's mental.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. Just looking there, the Championship, because that's the question, isn't it? Who would you take from the Championship when we go down? Or if we go down? Akpom, did he not play for us?
Who?
Akpom. Did he not play for us at like the under 20, under
I'm
21?
sure he did, yeah.
I'm almost certain he did. Well, he's the top scorer in the league there.
Oh no, was he the one who was at Arsenal? Hang on, let's have a look.
But anyway, there's one down there that I think we'll end up with, and it'll make us all just throw our season tickets away. McBurney from Sheffield United. One of the worst shitheads I've ever seen.
God,
Wears school shorts and is a bell end.
We're gonna end up with some right yard dogs, aren't we?
We'll get Carlton Palmer out of retirement just for one last dance.
Kenwyn Jones.
Oh God.
Jones.
I saw someone the other day saying we need a forward. We should go and get Fraser Campbell on a free, and I was like, he's 35 for one, and he's Fraser Campbell. Most importantly, he's Fraser Campbell.
So well, that's the big sort of elephant in the room there, isn't it? Jake's also asked, what away are you most looking forward to in the Championship next year? Now, that is something that does kind of fill me with a little bit of, not going to say excitement, but something not far off it. Because I think some of those aways will be absolutely mental. And provided they don't get relegated, which they probably will, Blackpool away. Always Blackpool away.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe you skipped over the obvious one of Millwall. Millwall away.
Worst away I've ever been to.
How have Blackpool got that low, by the way? Weren't they flying earlier this season under that ex-Copite, that Critchley? And now they've got Mick McCarthy, haven't they?
Oh yeah, McCarthy went there, yeah.
Millwall might get promoted to 5th.
Oh, if they get promoted,
imagine passing Millwall on the way down, Jesus.
Mate, who are we potentially playing that's coming up from League One?
Oh, let's have a look. That's a shout.
Sheffield Wednesday.
I do like the way this has turned into a relegation special.
Yeah, oh, mate, Plymouth.
Plymouth on a Friday night. Oh,
we went down there in the FA Cup, didn't we, under Moyes?
Yeah.
And Nick Chadwick scored. Do you know what? I'll tell you this for now, and I'm quite proud of myself if this is true, but I'm almost certain that this was James Beattie's debut for us was against Plymouth away in the FA Cup.
I think it was.
Ooh.
That's a shout, that.
And Nick Chadwick scored. I think we won 3-1 down
there.
Did Leon Osmond playing for Plymouth and scored, maybe?
Did Leon Osmond score like a belter? Or am I?
Yeah, I think you're right.
One? And it was
like... That stadium looked half decent. Because it's only small, but it looked like it was like, it was better than League 3 or whatever, League 2 or League 1 that you were in. But just looking at that League 1 division there, teams that we could potentially play that are towards the playoffs. We could go to Wickham, Bolton back, that'd be horrible.
Yeah.
Derby. Ipswich, you'd be a shitter.
Pride Park was always terrible for us, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, Derby there, yeah. They're in the playoffs.
They'll re-sign Esteban Fuertes.
Oh, who's the other fella? His first name was Bruno. Oh, he scored against us when we beat them. Did we beat them like 4-2? Moyes' first away game, I think it was. And Big Doug scored.
It was 4-3. Was it 4-3 that? Because didn't we have like a mad thing on the Moyes where like the first 4 or 5 games were just massively end to end. It was just like.
Yeah, we lost a couple like silly scores, but actually won 3 of them or something.
Yeah.
To keep us up.
Yeah.
Plymouth would be terrible. I'd like Ipswich to come up just for Dan. Because he could go and watch Everton because he lives down there, doesn't he? Barnsley got fond memories of Oakwell with Gerard De La Feu ripping them apart.
Weirdly, Barnsley have like this like cricket club or something next to where the car park is, where we parked up. And my dad had driven up for that game. And as we were going back to the car, like we battered them, hadn't we? I think we 1-0 down at that time. That was one where John Stones was getting loads of grief, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think then Joel threw one in his own net, didn't he?
Yeah, and then Martinez at the end of the game said about money can't buy you everything. And that's where that song came up with Money Can't Buy You Stones.
Yeah, of course.
That's where that all came from. But I remember going back to the car park and there were these lads on like this balcony. I think it was like a cricket club or something. And they were all singing Yorkshire and all this. They were like giving like loads of grief because we were in their heads from Lancashire. And you're like when it's like And
No
we were
one
like,
lost.
yeah, we were like, what are you doing? It was literally like, what? I'm not arsed, mate. Like, genuinely couldn't give a shit. But they were properly
don't
giving
know.
it loads, and I was like, I really don't care.
Fuck off, lads. I'm from Cheshire anyway.
So I don't know where I've entered this year. I've gone down in some sort of crazy line here into some weird cave, but I'm just looking at this Derby squad in 01-02 when we beat them under Moyes in his first away. Think of some of these players, lads. Mark Poom in goal.
God.
Do you remember him?
With
Mark
him, weren't
Poom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Daryl Powell.
God.
This
One shot
year when
playing
we
for them?
beat them, what?
Paolo one shot playing for them then?
No, he'd gone by then. But
All right.
this is so random. So do you remember Malcolm Christie? He scored a whopper against Man United one time and like was never seen again or something. He follows me on Twitter, no idea why. But Chris Riggett, Craig Bailey, Rob Lee, Dion Burton, Danny Higginbottom. But the name of the striker that eluded me, I have found out, which was Branko Strupar.
Strupar, yeah, bloody hell.
Yeah. I think he bagged a couple against us. Warren Barton was still playing.
Jesus.
And who else was there? Bloody hell. Some players there, mate.
Was Kincladze there at that point?
King Claddy was there. You're right, yeah. You actually look at that squad and it was half decent. But anyway, we might be playing Derby next year, lads, in Championship.
Yeah, that would be grim, wouldn't it? TWS has asked, right? As the club prepares for the drop, God, we're just all rays of sunshine here, aren't we? Cost-cutting measures are put in place, and you are the new Goodison Park DJ. Apart from getting Zedkar's timing right before the kickoff, what are you spinning at the final whistle when relegation is confirmed?
Oh, that sounds right up my street, that as well. Heart Will Go On by Celine.
What was that?
I'm trying to think.
The one I always remember is this is around when England got knocked out of the World Cup in like 2002, I think it was. And it was Oasis, Stop Crying Your Heart Out. And you're like, hold on. This bit of Blue Room karaoke. Yeah. And
I like it. Will be made up.
Yeah, I just remembered like that song every time I listen to it. It's like, don't be scared. You'll never change what's been done. And that song always reminds me of basically abject failure. So that'd probably be the one.
Maybe something to get the rave on, just to like,
yeah,
you know,
Firestarter,
Pretty Green Eyes or something like that.
Yeah, Firestarter. But I predict a riot. That'll do.
Yeah. I only found out the other day that the fella who sung Pretty Green Eyes is in Camel Fat, isn't he?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Is it Mix the Scala, is it?
Yeah, Top Toffees.
Yeah.
Are they? Yeah.
Yeah, Camel Fat, the Toffees, yeah.
You've
got to play Bramley more.
Who sung Pretty Green Eyes again?
Ultra Beat,
that was it. Yeah, they were all Scousers, weren't they?
Yeah.
What else am I thinking there? That's the way it is. Doodle-in, doodle-in, doodle-in. That's the way it is.
Maggie's getting a karaoke. This is brilliant.
I know.
She'll regret it now.
Yeah, it will be balanced though. That's
something dead
that'd be the best
like
way forward.
Seasons in the Sun.
Oh,
Total Eclipse of the Heart. That do.
Oh God, yeah. You can imagine like Elton John. That's why they call us the Blues and all that.
Oh man.
I just wouldn't be able to listen to it.
I can't have that associated with failure.
No.
It's out. Yeah, 84 Cup final.
Yeah,
84 Cup final is like reformed Premier League failure. yeah, that's it. You can't play that. You can't play that.
Or maybe something out of a Bill Kenwright number. You know, like one of his musicals, just the Phantom of the Opera or whatever.
play Corrie and Lisa comes on the pitch or something.
Yeah.
Oh mate, it's going to be grim, isn't it? It is going to be terrible.
It's not going to be grim because we're going to stay up.
Oh, Jordan Pickford by Roy Orbison. There you go.
Oh God.
As the crowd gets panned by the TV cameras.
Do you know what? Though? You like the way normally you have like it goes to the crowd, and they're all like really sullen, and like there's like kids crying and everyone's like really upset, you know that like if it does happen, it's just going to be fume.
Oh,
It's
just
not,
the anger,
there's going to
won't
be, it won't be like, isn't this, look at these poor souls. It's going to be full on venom. It's like, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a happy place.
Oh, there's a song by John Grant called "Where Dreams Go to Die," and that seems so apt.
Oh my word!
Yeah, or something really like grim by Nick Cave or something. Oh God! Right, we'll try.
No, scrap the DJ is what I'm saying, and we all invade the board. Like we rip the main stand down ourselves.
Wait until I'm out of it, like.
Well, do you not remember? This is.
It's like, what have I done? Fucking hell!
This is a horrible.
What's that 50 Cent thing? What do you say? Fuck me for?
But I'm just thinking. Then, do you know when the Shite got rid of their main stand, and all of the fans there on the last day of the season just ripped the seat out as the memory they could take with them. And then the cheeky bastard of a club started charging everyone if you didn't take it. You end up having to pay like $2 ton for the seat that your sweaty ass has been on for decades. Like that'll happen, I think.
I'm 100%. I'm taking mine 100%.
Oh yeah, massively, mate. I'm taking. Is yours wooden?
Mine's. I've got a cushion on mine.
What? Hell? It's a bit fancy.
All right, Bill. Les, yours is plastic, Les, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got a hard task there, mate, because that's got the proper like screws and all that, hasn't it?
I think we had this on Mailbag one time before, and it was decided that we have to start a few weeks early. So with about 5 games,
go in with your screwdriver,
start loosening it a bit. So by the final game, it just comes off.
Like Shawshank Redemption.
Basically,
put like a little poster over it or something, little sticker so you can't see that it's coming off.
No, I'll have one of those things on that this person has been banned from the game. Those things he put over.
Oh, mate. I could do, but the thing is, what would be fitting about doing that? Because obviously we still got Goodison next season. But the reason why you could get away with taking your seat is everybody fuming that we'd gone down. And like I can just imagine a scene where Les is standing on top of a seat, just jumping up and down, trying to rip it off. Because it'd be so hard to get the back of it, wouldn't it? I don't think you can get the back of it.
Everyone's going to go home with the seats and not know what the fuck to do with it when they get it back.
Yeah.
Like, I've got this now.
I don't want to encourage anyone here, but I don't want to encourage anyone in here, but I'm going to take some tools in with me to get my seat out. Fucking hell! I'd love to. Do you know what's been weird about mine ever since I got it is I'm number 236, row M on the main stand, but they didn't. This is typical Everton. They put the wrong number on as 239, and my real number's 236. So whoever's put it on has put the number 6 upside down, and that's why that's what'll be unique about taking mine with me. But I will be fuming if they fix that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to put it on Twitter anymore because the amount of times I've taken the piss by taking a photo of it, I'm thinking some bastard at the club will see that and go and change it so I can't rip them apart again.
Have you ever had anyone like come over and insist that that's their seat, like because they are meant to be 239?
No, because the mad thing about it is
there's no 239.
It doesn't go up. No, that's the thing. I'm on the end, so it doesn't go up to 239. 236 is the last one. And I'm right next to the exit. So the only reason I chose that seat, obviously years ago, because obviously I'm like 6'4". Like there's no room for your seat if you're sitting straight. So I could sort of sit side on. Do you know what I mean? And most of the time I wanted to sit side on anyway, so I could see the away fans and start giving them some shit. And I also try and spot Les and Mosey and Jack in the back end as well.
Just on the legroom thing, did you see the Ashcast about the legroom with the new ground?
Oh, fuck off! No.
Will it be 700 millimeters or not?
Oh.
No, you've got to be joking there.
Honestly, you did,
mate. I should be jailed for that fella being famous. You know, I caused a lot of that, and I always remember in the early years, Matt saying to me, mate, because at the time we were all enjoying, Everton Business Matters and all that. But then when we finally got to meet them and went for a pint in the Irish bar on Hanover Street, and me and Matt and Paddy were looking at each other saying, "What the fuck have we done here?" And he just wouldn't leave us alone. And like I said, it's time to part ways, mate. Do you know what I mean? Because like I put a lot of effort and work into that, to no real effect for me personally. So off they went to do it themselves as the Fun Boy 3.
Yeah. We'll move on. Laura said, how many questions from Maggie is too many?
Never.
I don't think there is.
It's Maggie can ask as many questions as Maggie well likes.
You can't have too many questions. And weirdly, they both essentially asked the same question. So Maggie said, detail your ideal pre-match chippy order. Can't think where these questions came from. And Laura said, what's your go-to pre-match chippy and pint choice?
Ooh.
So I'll jump in with mine.
Yeah.
Chippy is chips and curry from the Chongqing and a pie separate, which I
before the game.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's controversial. I'm not a fan of the scran before the game.
Oh yeah, always before the game, yeah. And if we get a pint, ideally, I'd like a pint of Trapper's Hat, but you can't get that anywhere. So.
Well, do you know, and you can't get them in many chippies these days. And I hope you two can inform me of something better than what I'm about to say. But steak and kidney pudding, not pie, pudding.
No, I never get them anywhere now.
That's what I mean. Because
don't you call it a baby's head in Wigan or something like that?
Fucking
Baba's head, Baba's yed, they call it,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yed, yeah.
What's going on there, mate? We'll be playing them next season.
So we have to go to Wigan. They'll get relegated. That's a weird away, isn't it, Wigan?
Wigan.
It's like the ground's just fucking miles away from everywhere.
Yeah. And it's never, ever sold out, ever. I've never seen it. I've never seen that ground when you watch the rugby league on it or whatever. I have never seen that ground sell out. The away end does, because you get about 10,000 tickets, don't you?
Yeah.
With that massive away end. They've got similar to Ewell Park as well. They're the same, aren't they? The away end, you get a full stand.
Yeah.
But you never, ever see a filled-up stadium in there from the other side. To be fair, I'm not trying to rip Wigan apart, but it's in terms of club size, football's not its main sport there, is it?
No, not at all. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be shite if we get relegated and we don't get Wigan and we don't get Blackpool.
Yeah.
Wigan, I remember when we used to go to Wigan as well, because obviously, like, we used to our away end, it's obviously sell out. But initially, when they came up, you could buy tickets in the home end.
Yeah.
And then and those games were always sold out because all the Evertonians, we'd take over like 2/3 of the stadium. Yeah. But then after a couple of seasons, they stopped it, didn't they? Where they said you had to have a Wigan postcode or had to have bought tickets before and like have a history of buying tickets. So like it went from being sold out every time we played them to being like 12,000 and like 10,000 and then we're Evertonians.
Taught us there, didn't they?
Yeah, well in.
But anyway, yeah, just to go back to that question, steak and kidney puddings was delightful. And I don't know anywhere we can get them now because the pies, you could get Holland ones, couldn't you? Holland's pies, that's where every chippy sold the pies. I don't mind the pies, but the crust on the outside was vile. But I'd be going steak and kidney pudding, with just steak and kidney pudding and chips. I think that fills you up until you go for your pint after the game.
Peas?
Did you say peas? Did you say peas or Pete?
No, would you have peas with it or pea wet? I got off at that once in Manchester.
What's pea wet?
Basically the water off the peas.
Oh, what?
Got chips and pie and chips in Manchester when we went to Old Trafford one time. And the fella said, "Do you want pea wet on it?" And we all just looked at him like, "What are you on about?"
The water off the peas.
Just pour the pea water on the pie.
Oh.
See, I'm glad you're not baby's heads quite weird.
So baby's heads in Wigan and sweaty peas.
I reckon Wigan do pea wet as well.
Pea wet, fucking hell. What's going on there? But I have started. I never used to like peas whatsoever. I just thought it was an absolute waste because you couldn't taste them or anything or nothing like that. But mashy peas, happy with them these days. Like them with a bit of vinegar on them.
Shout. That is a shout. Pete?
Do you know what? I'm not. Yeah, just a pint of pea wet.
Oh, you're not going to be sick. That's absolutely knocking me sick, that.
Do you know what? Do you know where I need to go before? Like, right, there's the Goodison Supper Bar and there's the Blue Dragon. And I've got a confession to make that I have never, ever, 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 ever been able to get in them. Because every time I get to Goodison,
Oh, yeah.
the queue is so far down the road. But I always think, is it because I know that a lot of people, that's like their tradition, and it's either the Supper Bar or the Blue Dragon.
Yeah.
And it's like, people are really sort of, they're religious about it, like they have to go to there. Now I'm wondering, is it because it's really good, or is it just one of them things that you just have to do? And I feel like I need to. So if anyone sees me wandering down Goodison Road and I recognise you and I say, and you're near the front of the queue, someone get me a portion of chips from either. And I'll be eternally grateful to you. But yeah, I'm not really I don't drink anymore, so I tend to just go in the house and like have get myself a nice little bottle of Diet Coke, and that'll do me. I'm dead boring these days. Dead boring.
Ideal chippy order though. So if someone went to Supper Bar and
Yeah.
like people get this in for you, what you having?
Before the match?
Yeah.
Oh, again, I'd be dead boring. I'll just go for like curry and chips. Chips and curry, that'll do me. Chips and curry, dead easy, match day, done.
I did have salt and pepper chips and curry once, which was dead nice, but Christ, it dried me out.
Yeah.
I needed to drink about 6 gallons of water after it.
Yeah. You ask for salt on anything in a chippy, and it's like it's so like all or nothing, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you ask for salt, they just blather it with the salt, and you're like, yeah, I need about eight cups of fucking tea or bottles of Coke or something like that to quench your thirst.
It's like eating the Dead Sea.
Oh, I mean, yeah, vile, yeah. I generally don't mind like salt and vinegar. I like salt and vinegar in general on a fish. It's great, and that's what I go for. I just go for a fish on its own. Just eat it like a proper weird person.
On a plate or out the wrapper?
No, it from my hand like a proper.
Not even
like
battered, just
like
a fish
or something.
Sean Dyche should do that, mate. I'm telling you.
Stanley Park, just in the
Sean
pond.
Dyche should do it, and the fish should still be alive.
Right, we've got a few minutes left, so we'll finish on this one from Maggie. If Brookside was still running, what would be the current storyline, and how would Jimmy Corkle be involved?
Right, I've got an answer for this one. Right, so Jimmy Corkle would be falsely accused of putting Sinbad in a headlock. Right. And the whole storyline would be based around who was it who told the police about it, because Sinbad didn't. And Jimmy's trying to prove his innocence until eventually someone has some camera footage of a party they were in when someone put their arm around Sinbad and gave him a hug, and then Jimmy's released and he's exonerated fully with apologies. And then
It was thingy, wasn't it? I reckon it was Mick Johnson who did it as well.
Yeah, that's what it.
I reckon it would have something to do with Max Farnham throwing a takeover bid.
Oh
yeah.
I reckon.
I was gonna say Max Farnham with Jackie Dixon ended up getting married, didn't he? After his wife died in a car crash, and I think Max Farnham would be associated with Mashiri as the co-owner of the club, and you'd have Jimmy, Sinbad, and Mick Johnson, in a coup, like either trying to kill him and bury him underneath Sinbad's house.
Yeah, they find the Arteta money underneath the patio
with Trevor Jordash was his name, who he killed. There'll be a few quid under there.
Yeah, Jimmy Corkle's definitely blackmailing Max Farnham.
But you don't remember Jimmy lost the plot a little bit, didn't he? And built an arch above his house. It's sorry, in front of his house. You don't remember that?
I remember him losing the plot.
He had an arch. He built an arch at the front of his path to get into his front door, and he made like all sorts of pictures of like the Beatles, all sorts of like Liverpool. It was great. The thing was like a proper piece of art at the time. And this is going to sound really sad, but Brookside Close is about half a mile from where I live. And me and my missus and my mum, I'm not going to lie, we've been down there a few times just to have a look around and stuff like that. But obviously, like it was when it was made, all the houses are like that, like real houses with people living there and all that. I must get looked at like I'm some sort of sicko. walking around there thinking, oh yeah, I remember when Bing lived over there.
What was Harry Cross's house? Where was that one?
Harry Cross, yeah. Oh, mate. Do you remember Ron Dixon when he had a gun? What?
Yeah.
You started writing this shit? Tinhead? Remember Tinhead?
Yeah. He was on thingy. Four in a bed. So he's got
Was he?
He's got something to do with it. There's like in the dock. There's like a yellow submarine hotel,
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
and he's
Yeah,
got something to do with it. It was mental.
yeah.
What's his name? Philip
ran out.
Olivier.
It's a barge,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's no like breakfast, but like they don't cook you breakfast for you. But I think he just nipped off to Mackey's for them, and they'll get you brekkie if you want.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
that's what it is. Yeah, you get like the menu literally has like sausage and egg McMuffin.
Yeah. Oh, it was good. It was funny. Like,
Oh, mate, do you know who else? Talking about half celebrities who follow me. Who did they say was following me before?
some Derby player.
Malcolm Christie, was it?
Malcolm Christie.
Yeah.
Well, also the Greg out of Brookie. Do you remember him? Greg Shadwick.
Oh yeah.
The fella he ended up in Holby City and all that. What's his name? The fella the one who was trying to have a straightener with Sergio Ramos.
Yeah.
He follows me on Twitter as well, and he actually seems quite sound. Do you remember their family?
Mark
Monaghan.
Yeah.
Monaghan,
That's it. He said, didn't he? He said, like, I'll put money down, you put, because he said it's about when Ramos injured Salah in the Champions League final, wasn't it?
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
And it was there was that one, and then the other one who followed it up was when Pickford did Van Dijk, and there was that other lad, the Sean Promise, and they were like sort of on the same. Yeah.
And he promises. So anyway, he played Greg Shadwick, and he was the dad of Jennifer Ellison. And Jennifer Ellison was with Tinhead. And I remember watching it at the time. And look, if you watch Brookside and you were of a decent age, by that I don't mean like someone who's ridiculously old looking at Jennifer Ellison, but when Jennifer Ellison was in it when you were a kid, Jennifer Ellison was great.
Yeah.
And Tinhead ended up getting with her. And Tinhead Tinhead wasn't related with Sinbad, was he? He was just like his best mate or something, wasn't he?
We've got less than a minute, Dave.
So anyway, yeah.
Call time on this, and the fact that Tin had shattered loads of Merseyside lads' dreams, didn't he? Basically.
Best way to end.
Cheers, Dave. Nice one, Pete. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. If we didn't get round to yours, we'll get to it next week. Up those toffees.